Hey, this is Pete Scott and welcome to 11 sales techniques that actually work. Technique number one, make the room your own. Most salespeople believe that the sale is made during your time with the customer, but the true pros understand the sale begins long before you even meet your customer. This means that you want to make the meeting room like your own living room. And I don't mean you make it a mess, you make it tidy, you organize your paperwork, and by the time your customer meets with you, they are walking into an environment that you feel comfortable with and confident, and when you feel calm and confident, your customer will too. That creates a much better environment, and from the moment you build rapport, you're already onto a winner with your customer. Technique number two, be goal focused. It is so easy when you are in a great conversation with your client to start talking about what they're up to on the weekend, or start discussing benefits or features, or even a different product that isn't relevant. The true professional understands to keep coming back to the reason why that person has come to see you in the first place. Why is your customer having that conversation with you right now? So be goal focused. Technique number three, make one extra call. I used this technique with a recruitment company a few years ago, and they loved the concept. It's when at the end of the day and you are done, you're mentally checked out, your laptop is closed, and you're about to walk out of the door. And you say, I'm just gonna make one more call. It's in that one extra call that psychologically you're able to step up. Now, this recruitment company called me a few months later and they said, we've had the best quarter in our history. And I said to them, what is responsible for your success? And they said, we love the one extra call, because that's when we get the one call that actually matters. It allows you to focus, it gives you that psychology to succeed. Make one extra call per day and see how those calls add up in your business. Technique number four, work on your voice. Most salespeople believe that it's what they say that brings the result, but it's not what you say. It's how you say it that will influence your customer. Believe it or not, focusing on your tone, pitch, pace, even knowing when to pause or emphasize certain words can dramatically increase how you engage your customer and take them from a maybe to a yes. Work not just on the words, but focus on how you say and deliver your message. Technique number five, re-qualify. This is one of the most overlooked techniques in sales today. And the reason for it is because every book and every sales trainer will tell you and teach you to qualify your customer. But after you've qualified them and then you present your product or service, your customer will have that fear again that I know I need or want this, but maybe I can't afford it, or maybe now isn't a good time, and those objections in their mind will start to come up. You must keep control of that conversation, and the best way to do it is, once you've presented your product or service, is going back to the original goals of your customer and the reason why they're there to see you in the first place. Remember, it's not just about qualifying your customer, you must re-qualify them to get to yes. Technique number six, remind your client that it's their decision ultimately if they say yes or no. Everybody wants to buy, but nobody wants to feel like they've been sold to. So many sales are lost every single day because this one simple technique isn't used. It's ensuring that early in the conversation that you sit down with Mr. or Mrs. Smith and you say, Mr. or Mrs. Smith, I appreciate that you've come to see me today, but I want to remind you before we go any further that ultimately it's your decision whether you say yes or no today. And it always helps if you add in that I'm okay with whatever you choose. By doing that, you are showing to your customer that you are genuinely there to help them. It is up to them, because you never close the sale. The sale is closed only in the mind of the customer. Take that pressure away, remind your client it's their decision whether they say yes or no. Technique number seven, actually listen. This goes beyond a technique into a principle. To genuinely care about the person in front of you and to want to help them in their life, and using your product or service to help them achieve that goal. Listening is not just about listening to the words. They're only a tiny part of the overall communication. Listening means that you understand the body language, the tonality of voice that your customer is using. Also, a real good technique here is to start picking up on the consistent message that's coming through in your customer's conversation. By doing this, you can really get to the root cause instead of dealing with the symptoms. When you get to the root cause and you can connect with that person emotionally, you'll be amazed how all the objections start to fall away, and that person trusts you more, that person will become empowered, and you know that you can give them the right solution to help them in their life. Technique number 8, pre-handle objections. There is a problem with handling objections. It's the fact that you have to handle them. If your customer is coming up with the objection, then that is actually demonstrating that somewhere along the way you missed something. You missed a concern that they had. You missed that maybe they are price sensitive, or now might not be a good time. Better way of handling objections is that you come up with the objections as early as possible. When you come up with the objections, you also keep the power. It means that now your customer is convincing you that they can afford it, or yes, it is a good time. And it means you can move forward much more smoothly in your sales conversation. Technique number 9, always remember they came to you. In sales, there is nothing to be scared of. There's nothing to fear. Nobody forced your customer through the door. You didn't drag your customer off the street and say, hold on, sit there, you need to buy my product or service. The chances are by the time the customer is even engaged in conversation with you, they've done their research, they've looked online, and now they're in a conversation with you. This is a great time. They are already a yes. Learn to enjoy the sales process. Dare I say, even fall in love with it. Nobody forced your customer there. They came to you. Technique number 10. This technique follows on from our last 2. It is to keep the power. In every conversation, especially in sales, there is a power exchange. And that means that you either have the power and you're in control of the conversation and you can guide it towards your customer saying yes, or your customer has the power and now it feels like they're interviewing you, they're asking all the questions, and you feel the pressure of the sale. I want you to remove the pressure completely, not just from you, but also from your customer. Remember this, by the time the customers come to you, they're already interested. So it really is just about having a great conversation with them. Be inquisitive, be curious. The more questions that you ask around your customers' goals, sometimes around their pains, the more likely you are to keep the power. But it also comes down to how you feel on the inside, which will reflect in your body language, your tone of voice. Keep the power, stay confident, learn to fall in love with sales. Technique number 11, always give 2 options. The problem when a salesperson tries to close the sale, they just give one option. Remember, there is always a choice for your customer. And if you only give one option, then you're going to get either a yes, which is good news, you may get a no. By giving 2 options, what you're doing is you're allowing your customer to say, hey, I like this one, but if they don't like that one, they get to choose the other one. So it's either or. This 2-option close has helped me dramatically throughout my career to increase my sales. And I've seen it work with thousands of sales professionals in multiple industries. Don't just have one option, have the 2-option close to increase your closing ratio. So there it is, 11 sales techniques that actually work. Make sure you comment below and let me know which technique you're going to be using in your career or business. On top of that, if you've got any sales techniques that you feel you want to share, comment below. Let's keep the ball rolling with these sales techniques. Thank you for checking out today's video. If you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, what are you waiting for? Hit the subscribe button and I'll see you in the next video.